All right, what's up everybody? I'm Spencer from Side by Side Fury. Today I'm gonna talk to you about my favorite machine. A little bit of a biased opinion, because it's my own. But 21 Turbo S, 4 dynamics. In my opinion, best platform of a machine. I know players kind of transition to a lot of pro models. The Pro S, which they just ran out, I guess is the replacement of this. A lot of similarities to that, but still a pro body style. So Turbo S, in my opinion, I'm a rock crawler by nature. I like the way I sit in it. I like my visibility from my mirrors and my tires. And the pro models to me just have you a little bit more lean back. Also, again, why I'm not an X3 fan. But like I said, Turbo S, in my opinion, best machine out there. Mine personally, I got a lot of stuff done to it. Obviously, being in the job that I'm in, I have a lot of parts and we get to kind of nerd out on things. So just to kind of run through what I've got going on, I have a vent racing roll cage. Vent racing, very sexy looking roll cage. It is wider, so even from the camera angle that you guys have right now, you should be able to notice that my A-pillars kind of come out a little bit. So it does make it wider, bigger field of view through that glass. The roof rack, in my opinion, they call it the backbone roof rack. That's what makes it super sexy. I love the body lines of it. As far as a roof rack goes, it doesn't hold as much weight. I mean, it is an aluminum roof rack, so maybe a small downside. I've thrown spare tires up there before. They pop a little bit, but other than that, it looks great. The 44-inch light bar, so because my A-pillars go wider, it allows me to fit a 44-inch light bar, also from Vent Racing, but puts out massive amounts of light, so it looks good. I love the slim double row. Seismic mirrors, if you're gonna get mirrors, get Seismic because they have the best warranty in the biz. I'm pretty sure their warranty is something along the lines of like, even if a cow eats it. Went riding with the Seismic guys one day and we kept stopping for every cow that we saw. If you've ever been riding in Colorado, there's a lot of cows around. Couldn't figure out why we were taking pictures of cows. Well, I found out that's their warranty. So fun fact, if cow eats it, get it warranted. Working our way down, like I said, the windshield, I did powder coat all my stuff. If you're gonna notice that I kind of went way over the top with powder coating, but it looks good. The 4-banger lights, so Morimoto lights, these things are bright, man. They put out a ton of light. So if I really need them, Moab, middle of the night, making the transition from Pritchett Canyon to behind the rocks, I'm leader. I'm gonna light up a hill so I can see my lines, go up it. These lights kick ass. Working our way down, like, so we kind of got really nerdy about all the accessories. We'll get into the accessories once I'm on the inside, but my bus bar, which is right here, it really does not have that much stuff going to it. So for the amount of accessories I have, the wiring on this thing, we totally nerded out on. Brent Werner, the man, the mad scientist, really killing it when it comes to wiring, but got all my accessories in there. Still a clean bus bar, no battery draws, which is what we like to see. I have hidden lights. There's a light bar inside here, so if you've ever seen the Assault grills, they come with light bars, but because the light bar goes right here, I didn't want that, so stock grill still. But I did take the light bar and I put it behind this grill, so it's mounted behind there. So you can see that backlight coming through here. Gives it a little sexy look. Another thing we did is we pinned my eyebrows right here. So those usually don't come on with accessory. Usually you have to turn your headlights on for those to come on a Turbo S, but we did just do that pin. I like the look of that little accent light along with the backlights. 5150 fangs, really cool fangs, so aftermarket fangs. Because I got the Dynamics model, I had lights there before. A lot of people I've seen in my last one, which is Batman, we did just turn signal lights, but 5150 makes it where you can actually color change these. So obviously purple-green theme, matches the theme and whatever, a chase pattern or whatever you want to call that. I also have some rock lights inside. So rock lights behind the grill, illuminate that grill as well. I'm a big fan of ambers, so ambers cut through dust. I was messing around with ambers, but on my last machine, which is Batman, I had little triangle ambers here, and I used to run them all the time. So everybody could identify me as, because they could see that the 2 triangle ambers come in. So I swapped out the ambers for these lights. They're rigid adapt lights, but they have the amber covers. So I'm still getting the amber effect as far as the cutting through dust goes. But what's really cool about these, not the cheapest lights on the market by any means, but they are GPS controlled. So what that means is The faster that I go, the more narrow the light beam is, and then the slower I go, the more it widens out. So kind of a cool thing to have on there. I will tell you that I had some voltage issues. These things pump out some serious light. So I don't drive around like I did my triangle Lambers with these on anymore. It's kind of a case by case scenario because I got to watch my battery voltages. Even though I do have 2 batteries, I'll show you. Between the sound system and the power steering and all the lights on and everything, I have watched it drop while I drive. I'm all a fan of tight to body and simple. Like I said, I'm a rock crawler, so anything that sticks out is liable to get hit. That bumper is not out of the question. You can tell I've knocked it a few times, but it's an S3 bumper, so I really liked how tight and compact it is. Those Turbo S guys out there know that we have a winch option out front, and that's about it, because we've got massive front diffs, so it's a good thing to have, but there's not a lot of room for a winch inside like you do like an XP1000. So some sort of winch bumper or winch mount externally is required on Turbo S's. So this one was small, fits clean to body, holds my 6,000 pound winch, use the winch all the time. Again, kind of went to town on the powder coating a little bit. Got greens and purples, my wife's 2 favorite colors, so hey, she goes riding, she's happy, happy wife, happy life. 6,000 pound winch, I got the Warren, I call it a winch hook. It's not a winch hook, feel free to correct me. I believe Brent said the same thing, of whatever that's called, that's not a hook, but winch hook. But yeah, that's the front of the machine. We'll just work our way around it. All right, moving along to this nice ass on this machine here. So I've done a bunch of other things. Like I said, we kind of got a little nerdy with it. So some of the stuff is purely aesthetic. Some of the stuff actually has a purpose. But kind of just working our top way down, you can kind of see the back of that roof rack. Rigid chase light, really love this chase light. Not only is it bright, obviously functions as a chase light, but for you racer guys, it's got like all the settings you could ever possibly want. I've seen a lot of people that they run like the same 3 circuits a year, and they'll just kind of put their 3 different combos of chase lights they're required to have on rockers, so you flip one off, flip one on. For me personally, it's just a program rider that I have run under my dash, so I can change it, but for the most part, I just run the same chase all the time. You can see my antenna, rugged radios, you'll see that when we get inside. Moving along, 5150, every light, rock light, those fang lights, my 187 whip lights, all 5150, great company. Check out our 5150 video if you haven't already. Rockford Stage 5, I didn't need those big, huge tower speakers that come with the Stage 6, so I elected for Stage 5 for room. Also allows me to open up my Gemco box. Backlit, great sound system. I love it. You can hear me usually by my sound system first instead of the exhaust. Gemco box, again, if you haven't checked out our Gemco video, highly recommend you do so. But probably one of my most favorite accessories, it keeps everything out of the dirt. So I go riding in the dirt all the time. Fits my Yeti back there. My Yeti stays out of the elements. Keeps my trail sodas nice and cool, as well as my clothes, tools, snacks, whatever. I did do smoke tail lights. Like I said, purely aesthetic. There's no functionality to those. Turbo S has 3 tail lights. We sell these all the time. So you can definitely get your smoke tail lights from us if you want. Just click the link below. Trinity Stage 5 exhaust. When it comes to exhausts, you're not really getting any performance aspect out of an exhaust. Why people swap their exhaust are for 2 reasons. 1, delete the cat. As soon as you delete the cat, you can tune it. So I am running Stage 2 Aftermarket Assassin's tune. I can go to a level 3 tune. I do have the charge tube and the J-tube silicone aftermarket parts on mine that allows me to do that. Can handle that boost pressure. Wouldn't recommend going to level 3 on like a stock charge tube, but video for a later date. Stage 5 Trinity, I love the sound. It's loud, it's throaty, it sounds way better than stock, but it's my personal favorite exhaust. A lot of guys, like I know Brent on his Bomber, he prefers quiet. So he's got like an HMF exhaust, a silver turbo exhaust, again, quiet. Whether it's slip-on or full exhaust, this one happens to be full, which just means I don't have like a flange right there that it bolts to for a slip-on exhaust. Motor, I've hardly done anything to. Like I said, I tuned it, so I'm getting a little bit more horsepower. What I tune it for though, are for kind of the other aspects that come with the tune, like my fan kicks on sooner at a lower temp, so my machine runs cooler. you know, 3-foot braking deleted, that kind of thing. My clutch, I'm running a stock clutch right now. If I blow it up, I'm going to an STM, but right now, stock clutch with an aftermarket Assassin's clutch kit in it. And then my gear reduction, we did do kind of the new gear reduction in this because it's a 21 Turbo S. We were able to put the Turbo R gear reduction in it, so I have a higher high and I have a lower low. This is my second version of gear reduction. I definitely like this one better. To be honest with you, I forgot I put it in there. We took it to Moab one day and I got out on the highway and I was like, holy cow, my machine goes. Which was nice because my old gear reduction on 35s handled the 35s, compensated for rotating mass. I was crawling well. I just didn't have that top end. Top end is fun. Speed. Suspension-wise, HCR, big fan of HCR. I think it's the best suspension on the market. For me personally, like I said, I rock crawl, so I want to protect the underbelly of my suspension, especially something as pricey as HCR gets. I went with the Dual Sport HCR. It does come with the optional skid plate, so I have skid plates under my trailing arms and my A-arms, giving me that extra layer of protection. Couple that with my factory UTV full skid plate, 1/2-inch UHMW skid plate. Absolutely, totally protected all the way through and through. If you get some video of it, I use it. It hits rocks, I climb. CA Tech for the back, CA Tech radius rods. To be honest with you, I had Zebros for a really sexy looking radius rod. Really no complaints there. I just went a little bit beefier. So what I noticed is because the Zebros was a little bit more lightweight, which would help if I was like a big dooner guy, they were getting beat up and bent. So these I've definitely beat on and yet to even come close to bending. CA Tech pull plate to kind of couple with the radius rods. Other than that, my knuckles, everything like that is stock, Rhino 2.0 axles. Big advocate on an axle not being too good. You know, a nice cost-effective upgraded axle, but the axle's still my weak point. So I can swap an axle out on a trail. If I beef up that axle too much, I go spend $600 on an axle that's probably not gonna break, but instead I'm gonna blow a transmission and I'm not really swapping that out on a trail. So know your weak points. Check out our video on recovery if you haven't already. And then I've run the same wheel and tire for almost like, shoot, I'm on my 6th or 7th set of Alba Baja Crushers and Maxxis Rockzillas. Rockzilla tire, it's like a cheat code. I am swapping it up for like the first time in forever. I'm gonna try out System 3's new RC 500, so they're rock crawler soft tire, the tire that they designed to compete with the Rockzilla. So System 3's hooking me up. We're gonna go do some videos in Moab this spring. I will let you know how that goes. So anyway, like I said, sexy ass of a machine. Let's keep going. All right, so moving along to the side, touch on a couple of things. One thing in the back, it's kind of tucked up underneath, but I do have onboard air. So it really helps me, like I mentioned with my cheat code of tires, my Rockzillas. Obviously, the lower the tire pressure, the more traction I get. So typically I'll run those like 10 to 12 pounds. That's kind of the happy medium that I've found that I like. But if I am like say in Moab or something and I'm going on a big highway stretch, it's nice having the onboard air because I can increase that PSI. So I'll run like 25 down the road, get to another trailhead and let some air out. But onboard air is nice. Also coupled with the train horn, it lets people know I'm there if I want to go beep beep. But moving alongside, Moto Armor doors, some of my favorite doors. Wrap guys really like these doors too because of the flat panels. Makes it easy to wrap, makes it easy to follow the body lines. And then it's about the closest thing to air conditioning we can get in a Razor because I can take my door off. Pretty simple, pretty easy. So in those really hot days, like I was in South Dakota, and it was kind of a hot, muggy day. And we were cruising around. I was like, dude, let's switch the doors. So we drove around without the doors on, super nice, gets that airflow going, like I said, about the closest thing to air conditioning you can get. My rock sliders, obviously custom cut rock sliders. It's got the question marks in it to match the Riddler theme. Obviously you can tell I use my rock sliders. So nice, like 1/2-inch plate steel. There is a rock slider video, so if you haven't watched it, check it out. But really cool, protects my side, which is also very important because running through here underneath this is my auxiliary gas tank. So those two tubes coming out of the side right here into my gas tank, I carry an extra 8 gallons underneath my driver and passenger seat. AGM makes an awesome like transfer tank situation with the buddy hose. Again, if you haven't seen the AGM video, check that out as well. All right, welcome to the Cozy Cockpit. So tons of stuff I'm very particular on in here, but there's tons of options when it comes to the insides of these things as well. So, ooh, like that needs some WD-40 down there. So what we have rugged radio wise is very stock. Comm system, I'm a handheld kind of guy. I do have the connections down here for headsets. I do have the headset hanger that one day will probably clock me in the head and it will not be fun. But I tend to not wear headsets. I just don't like them personally. My kids really like them. It makes them feel like they're in an airplane or something. So we'll run headsets with them. You don't listen to music, everything through the comm system, through Rugged. Rugged's a great company. We tune these up, so like, I kid you not, we've probably had reception between 2 well-tuned antennas up to like 20 miles away. Pretty cool. So definitely needs tuned. So bring it by, we can definitely do that for you. We'll make a video on that. But yeah, just cruising along the cockpit. So like I said, I have dynamics, so firm sport comfort switch. I'm a switch junkie. So unlike Brent, Brent pretty much leaves it in one setting all the time. Depending on the obstacle, depending on what I'm doing, depending on how fast I'm going, I'm constantly flipping my switch, which just kind of gives me those 3 levels of shocks. Headlights, 4-wheel drive, winch in and winch out. My auxiliary fuel tank. So like I said, my transfer tank that's underneath my seats transfers to the main tank in the back. And then an IR gauge, which really just makes my temp gauge backlighting change, as well as a USB port with a voltage meter on it, so I can see what my battery voltage is running. Street legal kits, left, right turn signals, hazards, horn. Like I mentioned before, I've got the air horn, but all these accessories as well as the lighting. From a cockpit standpoint, we've actually, this is the nerdy part, we pulled key on accessory power from the factory fuse block underneath like my steering column. So that's what prevents me from having to run a ton of stuff through my firewall up to that bus bar up front, which is the reason why it's so clean. I have 2 switch panels, so we filled up 1, so we went to 2 switch panels, 2 fuse blocks come with those, circuit breakers, but these make it very nice from an accessory power standpoint, so I can control everything with my switch panels. This being a Dynamics model, I have my ride command as well. It's also my head unit for my Stage 5 Rockford system, so switching songs, pause, play, everything is on my touchscreen right here. So very comfortable. Rear view mirror, Assault, seismic is probably the go-to because of the warranties, but a rear view mirror I figured isn't really getting damaged as much. And then we did a custom backplate on the back of it that says Riddler, cut some question marks into it, and went down that powder coating train again. My cup holder, which again, this is probably another one of my favorite accessories. Those cup holders down there in the center console would be really good if you would like your drinks cooked. Unfortunately, not very many people do. Hot cup of coffee stays hot down there. Hot chocolate, sure. But most of the time we're riding in the summer, and trail soda is my drink of choice. That sits nicely up here with our Fury koozies that fit on our cage. So if you haven't got a Fury koozie, you're missing out. Little slap koozie, you know, 1980 called, wants their bracelet back. Slap koozie. But yeah, those fit perfectly in there with the 12-ounce cam. And then they're accessible and they stay colder. Little neat trick, you can put like a can of beans or something down in those cup holders down there, put it in there in the morning, and by lunchtime, it was actually nice and warm. A little hot lunch on the trail. B&M gated shifter. I'm a rock crawler, so I would not rock crawl without a gated shifter. I cannot tell you the number of times that I've had to slam my car into reverse to save myself from kind of toppling over backwards. If you don't know what I'm talking about, check out some videos. My boy Jeff Tranter is the king of slapping his in reverse and saving it. So Moab Side by Side Adventures, big shout out to those guys. Pink Panther, Jeff Tranter. I gotta talk seats though, because seats, so custom seats, these are PRP seats. I went with the RST. PRP makes some great seats. These were able to be customized with our Fury logo on top. And then per my wife's request, these were also heated. Because I had the switch panel space, I actually separated the back from the butt on them. So like for me, if it's cold, I usually just turn my butt on. And then for her, even if it's not cold, her seat heat is usually on to cruise around. But yeah, creature comforts, gotta love them. All right, guys, thanks for joining me today for the walk around on the Riddler. I fully expect that if any of you ever see me out on the trail, please stop, say hi, let me know you checked out this video. If you want to get any of the parts or accessories that I talked about today, as well as many, many more, click the links below, and we'll see you out on the trails.
Run.